Hello, beautiful people, and welcome again to another episode on the YouTube channel. If you're just tuning in, my name is Tosi. Thank you for staying tuned. Today, I want to talk about starting over. Once in a while, you'd find that life puts us in situations where we have to start over. Be it getting a new job, going to a new city, for some repeating a particular exam or class, getting married, traveling out, leaving the shores of what used to be your comfort zone. It's something I've found to be so true, especially with adulthood. It's actually beautiful that every once in a while life gives us a chance to reset, to start over. And that's what I want to talk about today. In this month of June, I want to touch on starting over. Hi guys, welcome again to the YouTube channel. If you're just tuning in, my name is Tosi. You are welcome. Today I really just wanted to chat on starting over. I spent some time reflecting, right? And I started to think about how, we're in the month of June, which is the 6th month of the year. And really no pressure, guys, especially because typically this is the season where most people start to tell you, this is the end of H1, the end of the first half of the year. And people are like, how long are you with your goals for the year? And while that is important and while that is beautiful, I want to bring a different approach. I want to talk about a reset, a starting over, especially because that is one of the things that I decided to do in this year 2025. I wanted to change my life. I still want to change my life. But primarily one of my major resolutions this year was to do things differently. Talk differently, act different, dress different, start to get into different environments, different conversations, different associations, different spaces. And I'm grateful that, some of the things that I desired for the year 2025 have come to be. But one major thing I found, and I'm still finding to be nerve-wracking, is the fact that with the change that I desire, I have to start over. Some of the situations, I have to start over, right? And starting over sometimes it's very tricky, especially, let's say maybe for me now, I decided to start over at the beginning of the year. But I find that I've even been put in certain situations now that I didn't plan for at the beginning of the year that made me have to start over again, like starting from scratch again, be it in building a business, in making friends again, in finding community again. And starting over for a lot of people can be nerve-wracking. I have to say, it can be intimidating, annoying, because you are used to a certain kind of life. You, in some cases, have excelled in certain environments, in certain spaces, and now you find yourself having to start all over again. And it can be so annoying. But this video is really just to, I'll share some of my thoughts on starting over and some things just to help on your journey of starting over, whatever starting over may mean, for you in this season. I pray that you are embraced with the strength and the courage to be able to take the bold steps to start over in whatever space that you may find yourself in. All right. So the first thing to understand in starting over is that you would be very, very uncomfortable. You'd be very uncomfortable. That saying of there's no success in your comfort zone? Yeah. Starting over is uncomfortable. It is annoying. It is irritating. It is nerve-wracking. You would find yourselves in situations that you typically would never have chosen. You typically would never have put yourself in if you just wanted to be comfortable. That's the first thing to understand about starting over. It is uncomfortable. So get used to the fact that it will be uncomfortable here. But because you have decided that you want to be intentional about your adulthood journey, about your life, about success, you have to stay in that discomfort and push through. Okay? So it will be uncomfortable, so get used to it. The second thing about starting over is that you're going to have to be humble. You're going to have to be humble. Typically, one of the things I've realized about starting over is that all the ideas, the knowledge, and the successes that you had in the past might not be sufficient enough for where you are right now. So you have to be humble, teachable enough to learn from other people, to understand your environment, to listen, so that you can get the full knowledge, the full experience that you need to thrive in this season. You need to be humble to start over again. Humility can be really annoying, but it's good to let go of your ego and submit to learning from other people. It might mean learning from people who you might think you are superior to, people who you would regard in other climes as subordinates. It might mean you putting yourself in courses or in classes or in trainings where you have to learn all over again how to navigate these spaces. So humility is very vital in starting over. So drop your shoulder pads small and be teachable in this season. It will help you a great deal. What are the best ways for you to embody a new season, a reset season, a season where it feels like you have to start over, a season where you find yourself in a place where, whether intentionally or unintentionally, you're in a situation, or life has thrown you in a situation where it seems like you have to start again? What are you going to do, or what is the best way to embody this season? The first thing is to step into the season with a determination, like a promise to yourself that you will see it through, that you will not give up at the slightest inconvenience, that you will not give up because you are intimidated or scared of trying again, but a determination to see the season through. So don't give up. That's the first mindset to embody a new season, to embody starting over again, a determination to see it through. The second mindset to have is courage. It's courage. You need to be bold. You need to be bold enough to start over again. You need to be bold enough not just to take the first step of starting over, but to continue to take steps of putting yourself out there, of putting yourself in situations where you have to start over. In previous videos I talked about, in one of my videos earlier I talked about friendships and how making new friends, especially if maybe you've traveled out of the country, maybe you find yourself in a new city and it feels like you have to start over again, courage is very important. You have to be bold enough to take the first step and the second step and the third step and keep putting yourself out there and keep trying again and keep stepping out in boldness to embrace this new season that you're in. The third thing I'm going to say, about starting over is to understand that embarrassment is the cost of entry. It's just like, initially I was talking about humility and how you're going to need to let go of your shoulder pad. In this new season of starting over, get used to the fact that you will make mistakes, a lot of mistakes, that will put you in very embarrassing situations. So get used to the fact that embarrassment is the cost of entry. And what do I mean by that? I mean, give yourself room to make mistakes. Give yourself the grace to fail. Especially if you're starting over, this could range from anything, right? Especially if you're starting over again, in whatever phase of life, you're going to make mistakes. You haven't been in this type of situation before. You haven't experienced this before. So you can't just expect yourself to all of a sudden be equipped with all the knowledge and experience to do it flawlessly. So get used to the fact that you make mistakes and just embrace that aspect of the starting over journey and just know that it is all a process. It is all a journey to becoming the best that God will have you be. All right. So the next thing that I am going to say to just encourage you, another way to embrace your starting over journey is to avoid comparison. Run away from comparison, especially if you find yourself in a situation where it seems like you have to start again. Maybe you failed an exam and you have to have a carryover. Maybe you took a break from work for a while for God knows whatever reason, and now you find yourself having to start that career path again. Whatever the case is, whatever starting over is for you, run away from comparison. Do not in any way undermine your efforts or the progress that you've made thus far, the courage that you've built to be able to start over by comparing yourself with peers or people who have gone ahead of you, people maybe who were classmates and who now seem, again emphasis seem, to be doing well or better than you. Don't do it. It will not help you in your starting over journey at all. Okay. Another way is to avoid regrets. Don't fall into that guilt trap of, had I known, if I had done it better, if this had happened better. You know, there's a passage in the Bible that actually says, remember not the things of old, remember not the things of old, forget the former things. The Bible says, God says rather that, behold, I will do a new thing. Shall you not know it? I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. So I'm just going to say the way God is saying it to you. Forget your past. Stop regretting and drowning in guilt and step into the new that God has for you. Step boldly with courage. Step out and start over again. Okay? God's got you. You've got this. All right. Okay, guys. The final thing I have to say regarding starting over is, there's a passage in the Bible that actually puts this in perspective. I will put the text somewhere here, but it says, and I'm paraphrasing, that the branch that bears more fruit, God will prune so that it can bear more fruit. A lot of the times, and I believe God has designed life to be in that way, that you'd find a lot of the times that, especially if you are someone who wants to grow, who wants to evolve, who wants to continue to evolve over and over again, that there has to be a stripping away of your past successes. There has to be a pruning. There has to be, whether intentional or unintentional, a stepping into something new that demands more of you than your past season. A stepping into something new that a lot of the times, that quite often doesn't have anything to do with your past. What do I mean? Sometimes you might find yourself, for example, maybe you find yourself in a situation where you feel like you have gotten to the point where you've achieved, in a sense, all that you feel is there to achieve in a particular career, and you want to transition into something new. Understand that while all of the beautiful accolades and all of the beautiful awards and things that you've done in that career are amazing and will give you maybe a bit of a pedestal into the new, you'd still have to let go of all of that to be able to build a name for yourself in this new career path, in this new season, in this new class, in this new course, in this new relationship, in this new friendship. Okay? So it is important that you drop the chip on your shoulder, that you strip yourself of I am this status, so that you can fully step into your new season without having to feel like you have a reputation to keep. What I'm trying to say really is that you drop the chip on your shoulder, that you let go of all the past achievements, even though they've been very good. The only way God can do new work with you, God can bring beauty, more beauty out of your life, is when you allow Him to put you in certain environments and situations that don't recognize your past. That way, more demand is placed on you to work harder, to invest more, to build significantly in this new season. So it's my prayer for every one of us starting over, that God gives us the boldness, the grace, the courage and the wisdom to step into this new season fully, to start over boldly, unashamed, to do it afraid, to step into the fullness of all God has for us. Thank you guys for tuning in. Cheers to starting over, starting again. Cheers to stepping into a new phase of your life. Thank you again for watching this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you on the next one.